welcome to KISS.
Keep it simple, sister.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, Samantha.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm even better now.
Okay, good.
Yes. I don't know. I'm
I,
pumped up.
I love it when we're together.
I know why. Because you
Why?
told me to take a break and have my MorVida. Serious to God,
Yes.
that's the difference.
Okay.
Because I was having hunger pains before. This is not a sponsorship, y'all. I'm just saying.
But it is a sponsorship because we sponsor ourselves.
We do, but for reals, like I was having hunger pains and I was dipping in energy because we are now recording our podcast at what time? It's 1:30. And we've already recorded one today, so this is our second one. And I literally just had one of the it took 15 minutes for it to kick in because you and I have been talking.
This is true.
Yes. It's amazing. Oh my
It
God.
is amazing.
I mean, like,
Okay.
I am so pumped up. This is weird. Okay.
Me too. Me too. And I think we discussed it earlier. So the, we love Morita, and it might be backwards, but it's like a little sachet of green powder, and
Happiness.
it's happiness
It's a
and
sachet of
joy.
happiness.
Love and light. That's what we're going to talk about today. um, and I had not had my Morvita because I only had one pack left, and I was trying to savor it and hold on to it just in case because I drink it every day, and it is so wonderful. And then in between our two podcasts that we're recording today, my mail came and I got some. And so I drank some too. So now we're both a little bit hyped up, and that's not really what its purpose is, but it really does help me concentrate and have energy and just feel good.
Yeah, I feel like it like think of like bricks and how they erode and they're porous. And I feel like when I drink this, it fills all that in. And I just feel like everything's connected, turned on, solid. I don't know what it is, but I'm drinking it generally, like I make sure I haven't had anything to eat. And so when I drink it, I'm just like pumped. Because my
Well,
body just uses it.
and the
Um,
way that I kind of think about it or have thought about it and am telling people is when you're dehydrated, like in the summertime, and you went outside and you just need some water or whatever, and you drink Gatorade because you need electrolytes and your body needs stuff to
mhm.
feel better. Every time I drink the Morvita, I get that sensation in my body. Like it's kind of like, give me more, give me more. I needed that. I needed that.
Yeah. So this is not it's not how we usually start off our podcast,
No,
but
but it's our
good.
self-sponsorship.
Yeah, yes, that was our sponsorship. Um, so welcome to the KISS podcast, where it's all about feeling great by feeling better. And
And
so
Morvita helped us feel better.
exactly. So we were just like, let's go with this. So and then I follow up with, these are the tips, tricks, and techniques and tools like products and stuff that Diana and I use that help boost us up and have us feeling better. And this was a prime example of one of those particular products, that tools that we use that just like buoy us up and get us through the day and feel better. So that was really funny that we had all that.
Well, and let me just say a couple more things now that our sponsor, now a word from our sponsors. It has Moringa in it. It is Moringa.
Mhm.
And you know a whole lot more about Moringa than I do, but
It's good.
yeah, it is. It's got it's a superfood. It's like one of the most nutrient dense things on the planet. And I don't eat vegetables very much because I don't like vegetables and I'm not a good cook to make vegetables tasty to me. But it's like having a super multivitamin that my body is absorbing all of instead of moving it through and peeing it out. So
Exactly.
that's one of the things that I love about it. It also has amino acids in it. It has all this stuff.
Mhm.
So if you don't, and we will put the information in the
It's usually
blog
in the blog, but yeah, I could
post.
put it down below.
Yeah, and I think just all the like when I saw the picture that talked about Moringa and all the different things that it does. It was amazing to me. It's got, huge amounts of vitamin C and vitamin D and
Well,
like all
people
the
can
different.
go and just
Check
search
it out.
Moringa.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really interesting. And I didn't know anything about it before I started drinking the MorVida and got involved with life activated brands.
Mhm.
But you had, and it usually tastes like dirt, apparently.
Yes.
Many, many things taste kind of dirty about it.
Well, she says
But the
dirt, not like
MorVida does not. It tastes, it's tasty.
it's more like grass. It's more like grassy, soily kind of
Well,
it's
and this is what it
natural.
looks like. It's green. It
Yeah.
so it
They
looks kind of
they
grassy.
flavored it well.
But they flavored it well, and, the way it's processed, it's heat processed in an NSF factory, something, something. I don't understand all of that, but it's goodness.
It's goodness. So just know we're sharing goodness, goodness and light.
Which is our topic for today. But before we get to that, let's talk about, and we're going to do this very briefly today. Let's talk about our flip side. And the flip side is usually when something kind of challenging happens, or you're kind of bummed about something, or you're like, I don't like the feeling of this. I don't like the look of this. I don't like what's happening here. Where we where we try and find something good out of it. And
Because
we're
there's
just going to goodness and light,
yes,
whatever.
because it's always working out for you. Everything's
It
always
is.
working out.
Everything's
There's
always working
nothing wrong
out
with it.
for all of us. You just have to remind yourself that. So, my flip side, real quick, is that I was supposed to get blood work done. I have a physical coming up, whatever. And I'm excited to see like what kind of difference MorVida and the other lab, the life activated brand um, products that we've been using have the effect on my cholesterol and my blood sugar and all that kind of stuff. I know. I'm excited to see it. But anyway, I went yesterday to get my blood work done, and I walked in, and there were, let's say, 20 old people, 5 people with walkers, and there are people that were with them that were trying to help them or whatever. And I walked in, and I was like, I do not have all day to get this blood work done. So I sat down, and there was only one seat left. It was like that, kind of busy. So I sat down, and I was like, God, I'm gonna be here forever, forever. But the time that, and I wasn't there forever, I was there, for a little while, but there was this older lady there, cracked me up. She was hilarious. Her daughter was there talking. I don't even know exactly what all they were talking about, but she was loud. Like she was far away from me. And I love a loud person, like because I'm loud. And I was, I really related to her, but she was just a hoot. So the whole time we're sitting there, she got called back before I did. And I was like, darn, now I got to sit here and wait for my turn to go because she was so funny and so good. So when I first walked in, I was like, I'm not going to like this. This is not going to be fun, whatever. And the people that were around me, all of us were just cracking up at this lady. And so she really kind of made my day with her whole outlook on everything. She might have been like 80 years old, and she just was a pistol. She was so funny, so funny. So anyway, that was my flip
I like
side.
that. I like that. Okay, I think mine's even quicker. Um,
Okay.
how much to it? So Diana knows that I'm very ADD minded, ADHD, ADD.
It's interchangeable now, I think.
Yeah, okay, because I'm not hyper, whatever, except for this stuff.
Most girls are not.
Yeah. Ah, so, when I look at my schedule and people like, start scheduling things or I start scheduling appointments and I see like 5 things on the calendar, I start going, oh my God, like I can't breathe, I'm going to be running from one thing to the next to the next. So that's how I felt about this Tuesday. We always schedule our podcasts on Tuesday. And yesterday, I was walking into like looking at the calendar, just going, I don't have room to breathe. I mean, literally every hour I've got something going on through to the evening because my husband is going out of town tomorrow. And
Okay.
so like I knew, okay, we're gonna go out to dinner, we're gonna spend time, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that actually had shifted. Okay, so I'm looking at my calendar on Monday and I'm like, I have to give myself grace. I can't do this. And because it was making me just woo. So I told one client, I simply can't, I mean, I have boundaries. I can't do, I knew this wasn't the best day for her and the other day wasn't ideal, but this wasn't the best day for me. So I
Right.
said, you know what? I'm changing this. So I changed it from Tuesday to Thursday. That opened up things a little bit. I had a webinar. I had a uh not a podcast. What do you call it? I had a class to go to. It was like a workshop and online. And I was like, well, but our podcast is going to run into it. And I could try to record it on a different device while we're doing this. And then I'm just like, she'll record it and she'll send me the recording. I don't have to be present for that. Boom, that went away. And then I was like, okay, so I'm getting together with a friend who's also kind of a client. I'm getting together with her tomorrow. I'm doing a reading, and then we're gonna go and grab drinks and catch up. And I was doing this when my husband was going out of town, and I'm like, I'm sorry, this was the only day she said she could do it. Well, she texted me and last night, and she's just like, I can't do it tomorrow. I'm sorry to do this last minute, but I got to switch. And all of a sudden, poof, that goes off of my schedule. And so, yes, it got replaced with, okay, now I have time for my husband, so I'm still doing stuff,
Uh-huh.
but it's like, but that's kind of more in the natural flow of the day. So I went from being all stressed out and just going, it'll work out. And then just going, boundaries, Sam, and starting to reschedule. And then everything else just kind of shifted.
Because everything's always working out for you.
It was amazing.
I know. Well, and I think that something that we as women are not real good at, and it causes contrast, it causes us, to be stressed out sometimes, is that we don't consider our needs. We consider everybody else's needs, and we matter. And so that's one thing that I've started telling myself. I matter. I matter. I'm important too.
Mhm.
They're going to deal with it. Let me figure out what works for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause then you bring more of your A game to
Yeah.
it. Like, and I did wanna get together with this person. I did wanna do the reading, and I did wanna, get together. I really did wanna do that. I was bummed that that fell aside, but I know that that worked in my favor for that to happen.
Well,
So,
and it will eventually happen. It's just timing's not right now, and that's okay.
yeah. Yep. I love that. Okay.
Okay.
So, we're gonna jump into positive path. Uh,
Okay.
so the positive path is titled Love and Light. And I asked Diana if she would mind us going over this topic, even though she hasn't seen this and she might not have, it's not a trigger point. Okay. So the whole idea started because I had seen this post on Instagram. Somehow I locked into this woman. I don't know how. And it's like she tries to expose spiritual charlatans, I guess.
Okay.
Or, life coaches, people like every time I see her posts, I keep thinking, who burned you? Who just destroyed whatever sense of trust you have? Because it's so like she just when people do absolutes, like, well, all mechanics, you can't trust any mechanics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
All teachers. That's one
yeah,
that, no.
I hate that.
Yeah. Me
So,
too.
this was one of those where, and so what she was doing is instead of fomenting any sense of positivity, she was fomenting this negativity. And I would go and read the comments, and these are people like pitchforks, like they just want to go after someone. And so one day she posts about love and light. And I will admit, I had problems with that a while back. Like, I'm like, what is this whole thing when people say, you're signing off an email or you're saying goodbye to someone, whatever. And in the spiritual world, a lot of people say love and light. And I'm
Okay,
like,
so I'm not this in the spiritual world like you are. I'm getting into the spiritual world. But the way I would use love and light is like when someone made me mad, when someone pissed me off,
oh, yeah.
I'd be like, okay, love and light. love and light. Like I want, I'm just going to send you love and light because you're an asshole.
Mhm.
You need some love and light.
Yeah.
And that's the way I would use it, but not really believing that I was sending them that. It just made me feel better
Well,
to say
okay.
that.
So
You know
you're
what I
really
mean?
saying that you need it.
That I need love and light. I know. And I was sending them love and light
You're
so that
being
I wouldn't be
sarcastic.
mad at them.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
you were
that's kind of
kissing
the way
babies.
I looked at it, but I think it's way deeper than that. Like what you're about to talk about is way deeper than that. And I never I don't do a sign off on my like emails or something like that.
You
I
just say
do.
Diana?
Well, I do the
Sayonara, motherfucker?
yeah, no, I mean I think it, but I don't put it on there. I do the letter D and in front of it I do a colon so it looks like a smiley face sideways.
Oh,
'Cause I'm Diana, a
that
sideways smiley face.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking that is such a teacher.
Isn't it? It is, it is, it is. And when you do it sometimes,
Sorry.
it'll pop up with a like, like when I do it on my keyboard,
Uh-huh.
it'll pop up with a smiley face. I'm like, "No, I don't want that. I want a colon with a D because 'cause I'm Diana, and that's a little smiley face for me." But I don't want it to be a smiley face. I want it to be a colon and a D. So anyway, I
But what are you doing? When you do that, what are you doing?
sending love and light.
Yes, exactly. You're sending
But I
happiness.
don't say it. I want you to know I'm happy. It's a happy thing. Here I am. Bye-bye.
And I do that, like, sometimes I'll do, like, the little I don't know what they call it, the squiggly line.
I know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah,
the
I'll do that, and then Samantha, and because I just
it'll
don't like going
probably have a
Samantha.
name.
Huh?
It probably has a name, whatever that little squiggly thing is. I don't know
It's not
what it
Sedilla, I can't remember, that's underneath the sea, but but it just it's like a flow, there's a gentleness, like, "I flow and bye-bye," I don't know, or it's a wave,
I'm flowing bye-bye.
but it's a
I
gentler
can't even find it on the keyboard. You said it's under the sea?
no, 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 it's no, it's,
Oh, under the sea like SEA, not the sea like sea. Okay, gotcha.
no, it's there's a little hook thing that goes underneath the C in French words,
But it's not
um,
oh, gotcha.
this is over by the exclamation mark, by the letter 1 or number 1, the little wavy.
Oh, I see it. Yes. Okay.
So everybody's going, let me look at my keyboard. So,
And this is the way our conversations go sometimes. Okay, back to business.
to our world. So, okay. The whole thing behind there's a couple of different threads here. One is the jadedness of people who have been burned by someone in the spiritual community. And like I've experienced this before in a whole different way. When I entered into the world of web design, I know what? When I entered into the world of web design, it was when the dot com era began. And I didn't jump into it going, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of dot coms and then sell them for $100, or $1,000 more than what somebody could actually buy them for. Hold them
Right.
hostage, or hold people's websites hostage, which is what a lot of designers were doing. They would design because your design is your design. It doesn't belong to the client. So
Okay.
if you design a website and a client says, I don't want to use you anymore, you say, well, have fun, getting all the materials and starting all over again. Um, or somebody would use like another scenario is like somebody would use someone who would just suddenly disappear. They just stop doing it.
Fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah. And so because I dealt with a lot of small business clients, and that's always been my thing is to work with small business clients to talk them off the ledge so they don't spend lots of money in website design. And I would get these people who are jaded, who had been burned, who are pissed, and they would want to just throw shade at me. And I'm sitting there going, I'm the one who's here. I haven't left, and I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've experienced that in the tech world. Then I enter into the spiritual world, which is all love and hugs and feels and, and exposure and vulnerability.
Yeah.
There is like when you get into this, there is no, like, if you're walking your talk, you are out in the open and you're exposed.
Yeah.
And you get these people who've been burned by mentors, teachers, gurus, um, and like mentor to me, the energy of that is kinder. It is someone who you respected, someone who is just a level or two above you, who taught you a little bit. When I get into like teacher, instructor, well, not even so much instructor, but teacher or guru or whatever, it begins to be something that's on a pedestal. But because we want to believe in the concept that someone's teaching us. It's like all of a sudden you find your tribe, you dive right in, you identify, and the person is speaking to your soul. And next thing you know, you start putting this person on a pedestal. Oh, they say that the color blue is not really blue, it's blue green. So now it's blue green. And you're going to argue for that validation with everyone you meet. Okay.
Right.
Then this person um, gets caught having an affair or embezzling money from whatever this, they do something that makes them fall off the pedestal, or they charge you another year for a program which you were like, no, I don't want to do that, and they don't want to give you your money back, whatever it is, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You immediately look at that person and you're like, now you've fallen from grace. And here you've spouted all of their stuff. You've bought in as your own the idea that blue is blue green. You've argued for that validation to all of the people around you. And now what do you do? Because you're pissed at them and you're looking at the beliefs that you've bought from them and you're going, is this even right? And now you're embarrassed because you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wanted to see, like, it's like this whole train of events that happens over and over and over again. And so it gets you to a point where, like when it happens, it breaks down your whole belief system, this whole thing that you stood upon. And
Yeah.
now your family, friends are looking at you like, you're such an idiot. Blue is blue. Why did you think it
Right.
was blue green? And you're like, yeah, I know. you know, Instead of going, well, let me see if I can find this in other places.
Yeah.
So that creates that bitterness. People tend to not, like you and I would sit there and go, well, that was one hell of a flip side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we would immediately go, okay, how is this benefiting me? I learned
Right.
what I needed to learn. It's time to move on. And the thing is, I've been there. I've been there with the fallen, ideas of the mentor and all that kind of stuff. So you've got people out there who've had this experience and now they're bitter, they're jaded, and they feel the need to expose. And what happens when people say negative things on social media?
It takes off.
People would rather hear the negative than the positive for some
Yeah.
bizarre
Because it's
reason.
more because it's more interesting. It's more interesting. I'm not alone. This is happening to somebody else too. I want to go down this rabbit hole of negativity
Me
because
too.
that's comfortable for me. And it's not comfortable. It shouldn't be comfortable.
No, it's like I think it's comfortable because you're in a shitty place before. You put hope out there and hope felt better. And then you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. The other shoe finally drops. And then you're able to go, well, this sucks. Let me talk to all the other people who it dropped for too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't feel so alone. So I don't feel so stupid.
So I don't feel so stupid. I
Yeah.
don't feel like such an
Yeah.
ass. And yeah, okay. Um, so just take that concept. And this was just like this person has just been slamming, and I don't disagree with her is the thing. There there are, if you are a guru, a teacher, or whatever, and you are asking people to buy in what you're saying, and you're not saying, hey, use your discernment, use what resonates, for you. If you're not an allowance of other people integrating other ideas into what you're sharing, then you're trying to profess more of a religion, a dogma,
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
religion. And and you make people, like, there are some mentors out there, and I'm talking about the Tony Robbins level.
Yeah.
who, if you express something outside of their beliefs, they sit there and say, "Well, you're stupid. You're wrong." Like, they have to trash you. So, I get that, and I'm not saying Tony Robbins has done that. Don't,
Uh-huh.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, I think a lot of people who reach that level do that. Um, but so you've got people now who are jaded from that experience. I've seen that and I get it and I understand. So it's, and yes, you've got to get that out of your system. You don't need to identify with it and hang in there. But anyway, so this person was pointing out things like that, which I don't disagree with.
Uh-huh.
But then she's taking concepts like, and what's with this love and light thing? And I was like, whoa,
Hold up. Wait a minute.
yeah, we gotta like, because everyone was going, yeah, oh, because I remember it devolved, and I'm gonna be very careful because we don't need to go there.
Uh-huh.
But it devolved into, they sit there and say, love and light, and they're privileged because their world is so perfect, where the rest of the world is on fire, and how, and then it got into the whole Middle East conflict stuff. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Like we're talking, this went from a comment about love and light, and then it went,
Politics and yeah, yeah.
and so I was kind of going, okay, here's an interesting concept to examine now, Diana. Are we privileged because we choose? We actively choose. We make the effort. We go out of our way to actively feel better.
I don't see that as privilege. I see that as self-care.
Okay. So what is the opposite of that? Okay. What must your life be if you're considered, if you had the luxury, this is how I interpret it. If you had the luxury of having the time to implement self-care, you're privileged. Meaning the underprivileged people don't have the luxury. They don't have the time. They don't have the attention towards self-care,
But it's all perspective because I
which doesn't
mean,
cost money.
not necessarily though, because if you think about okay, so I can't even think of a good example, but let's say someone in a third world country that doesn't have any perspective that their life isn't happy and great. They don't have anything to compare it to. So, yes, I mean, we would think, no, they're not privileged. I'm privileged compared to that, but they're happy,
Well, okay, the case in point is when I went to Uganda,
right?
and I went way out into the middle of nowhere, and these people, they have, uh, solid dirt floors.
Yeah.
I say dirt, but earthen floors, because
Yeah.
they pack it down really well. And, they have telephones. It's amazing. There's service everywhere now, it seems like. So they have telephones,
Uh-huh.
but they are having to walk down to, an area where water is drawn up for them, and they carry it on top of their heads. And I would pass mopeds where there would be hogs hanging off the side of the mopeds. They were still alive, yes. Um, and women carrying all of the goods they bought from the store in these like elaborate whatevers. They all had smiles on their faces. Now, I'm not saying everyone in general was having a great day, but they all had this lightness to them,
Yeah.
and there was this. It was simpler. It was easier. And like it was, you know, we would sit there and go, God, it's hot. It's miserable. Their clothes would be sparkling white. It's red clay. How the hell do they do that?
Yeah.
And yet you would say, "Oh, hello, mama." Mama, was it mama? Mama. And she'd be like, "Oh, good day to you." Like just really super friendly and lovely. And it's like, so we would sit there and go, "Well, they don't have much, and it's a really hard life." But their perspective was, "We have today.
We have everything. We have everything.
God provides."
Right. Well, and I think you and I have discussed, we've gone through some very trying, difficult situations, but we
Mhm,
didn't dwell there. We didn't stay there. And that's what the whole flip side is. And so, someone who wants to say love and light isn't a thing, can't be a thing for certain people. I mean, like, even if you look historically at um, people who were in the concentration camps, people who, helped just in horrific situations,
mhm.
their perspective was, okay, well, I'm here, I'm going to make the best of it. There's something going on here that I can find some goodness and light out
Yeah, I mean,
of.
there weren't many people who could do it, but there were people who embraced
Exactly.
that,
There
who
were
talked about
some.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but and it was their perspective. That's where that was their where they were coming from.
Mhm.
Or maybe they're all Aries like us. I don't know. But
That's
maybe it's naturally, but it's a choice. Love and light is a choice.
Mhm. Being in
I,
that happier space,
yeah.
and like, so these were people who are commenting, it they sounded like they were Americans. They sounded,
Uh-huh.
stateside. So I would take it as, besides going and talking about, the Middle East stuff, that when they talk about the privilege and all that stuff, we know that that's a big topic in the United States about,
Yeah.
people of privilege and, you know, and then you talk about like inner city versus, other places or poorer areas versus, more affluent areas or whatever. Um, but all of that is economics
Yeah.
because you still meet some of the most amazing people, and that's kind of the beauty of the United States is that you can take someone who doesn't have the wherewithal, the resources, and yet they scrap it together and they make something of their lives.
Right.
And it's usually not out of pure venom and meanness. It's because they're inspired, they're open,
Exactly.
they, they rise to the occasion, they see the possibilities, they lift themselves up.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that expression that, well, these people who say, that they're sending you love and light, that they're privileged, I'm like, what is it about the spiritual community that makes people think that it's a privilege to feel better? I just thought that was so
Well, and
weird.
in my experience, I want everyone to feel good.
Mhm.
And when you're wishing someone love and light, you want them to feel better. You're trying to impart love and light to them.
Mhm. You were trying to literally bring their energy up. And
Exactly.
we see it, I mean, you and I, we tend to do that all the time ad nauseum in our children's eyes. Um, because like, my daughter, yeah, I sent her a picture of me in the line at thrifty car rental. And she goes, there's my mom making friends with everybody, you know? And it's like, but why not? Everyone hates being in the car rental line. So
Right.
why not strike up a conversation, find some familiarity with other people? And because there's always going to be that person in line who sits there and just goes, they
And
needed
don't
that
you feel
person.
sorry
Here's
for
that other
them?
person.
Like, I feel sorry for them. Like, what a miserable life you must be living.
Yeah.
Well, and my daughters do the same thing. Like, when I go, and it's usually service people that, for me, I'll go through the checkout line at the grocery store. That's in my mind, that would be a boring job
Mhm.
if I were not to talk to people coming through. But I'm a talker, so that's my personality. Now, maybe some people don't want to talk to anybody.
Mhm.
Okay, but I always try and make it a pleasant conversation. How's your day going? What's happening? And my whole, how are you, fabulous?
Mhm.
Like, all of that. I just want to make somebody else smile. That's who I am. And it's been embarrassing for my children along the way, but I've made lots of new friends and at least had pleasant interactions with lots of people because that's the way I do business.
Yep. I love it. Well, okay, you're gonna love this one. I was at Hobby Lobby
Love Hobby Lobby.
and
They don't sponsor us, but I wish they would.
so, um I am trying to do, I guess I was trying to find something. And this woman is at the register. There's no one else to help me. You know how, like, they only have a couple of people. There's usually a
Yeah.
bunch of people in line. There wasn't anybody in her line at the moment. She goes, "It's on the island over there, like three down." And I'm going, "Okay, I'll go find it." She goes, "Let me just show you." And I'm kind of going, "You're leaving your register. People are going to be pissed that I'm taking your time." She goes, "Let me just help you find it." So, she finds it and we go back over and, I'm just like, "So does that irritate people? Like, I mean, do you get a bunch of grumpy people in here? Like when you're, because you were really helpful." And I'm like, most people come up and go, "Well, where is the person?" Like, yeah, I was just asking her a couple of
Not
questions.
in Hobby Lobby. That's not the type of people that are in Hobby Lobby.
That's the thing. She said, it was so funny. She said, "Nobody ever complains." She said, "Yes, some people are in a rush, but, here's the thing. You can't craft and be in a bad mood."
So true.
Okay. So I want you to think about that. Crafting is creativity.
Right.
Creativity is being in that higher open space, the receptive space.
Right.
So yeah, you can't be in a shitty mood.
I'm putting that on a poster. You can't craft and be in a bad mood. And it's so true.
I mean, isn't that
You
just
can't
you can't
color and be in a bad mood.
no, you can't. Like
You can't
you
sing a
might start off
song.
that way, but it's gonna shift. That's the whole reason why you do like coloring as a mindfulness exercise.
Yeah. You can't sing a song and be in a bad mood.
You can
You
try.
can't smile and be in a bad mood.
So when we
And it
sit there and
takes lots less muscles to smile than to frown.
remember we've talked about, if you're in the space of gratitude, nothing else can exist,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So going back, I keep going back because I'm like, I want to make sure we flesh this out. I want this out of my system. I don't need to go and say anything to this person. Let them, have their tribe of negative people. That's fine. Um,
She's not your person.
no, no, she's not my person. Um, but it is not, I just want people to understand it is not a privilege to feel this way. It's a choice.
It's
You
a
know,
right.
well, is it a
It is a right
it is
because
a
you
God-given
deserve
right? I
it,
guess you
but
could say it that way.
it is,
It's our
but you
natural
have to
nature.
allow it is our natural nature and you have to allow yourself. It's okay. It's all right.
Mhm.
Let yourself be happy. Let it happen.
No one teaches you how to laugh. You just start laughing. Like, that's just a thing. Babies laugh.
Mhm.
But people teach you how to swear. They teach you how to be grumpy. They
Yeah.
teach you how, our nature is to be in that lighter space, to see the fun in life, to explore. You watch children at play, yes, they can get into fights, sure, but their natural state of playing is adventure, excitement, expansion, awareness.
Yeah.
Like they're building these imaginary worlds and playing together. That right there is the very essence of what we are. And we
Until
get it
someone
out of
teaches
us.
them that that's not the way we're supposed to be. It is. It is.
Yep. 100%. Oh my God, I love this conversation. You know?
I hope you all enjoy everything like as much as we do because I was telling Sam, I was listening to our podcast, latest one that came out, and I was like, that's really good. That's really interesting. And as it goes on, I think in my mind, I think I I would say this, and then I say it.
Oh my God.
Mind blown.
That is so
And
funny.
if you're watching this and you're like, these two gals are just annoying as all get out, you're not our people.
Oh my
We're
God.
not your people. And it's okay. Move on to a podcast where your people are.
Love and light.
Right.
Go on. Because
Skinner.
we are all about being in that better space, not feeling privileged, owning it,
Yeah.
and accepting that this is our right to be in this higher space and to send people who are not feeling it love and light, and people who are feeling down, sending them love and light, and saying goodbye to a friend who you've had a wonderful lunch with. love and light. You know, it's like,
Well, and you don't even have to say the words necessarily, but it's a feeling. It's I have this really good friend, Judy, and whenever we're together, she's like, it just makes me so happy when I'm with you. And I say the same thing. I'm like, I love it. I wish we could get together more often and
mhm,
go to those people, hang with those people,
those are your
hang with the
people.
people that make you feel good
Yep.
about yourself and about them and about life. Find them and avoid the people who don't. It's a waste of time. They're not your people.
Well, and if you look around you, okay, so there's a lot of, I mean, people come to me because they're at a pain point. They can
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
longer feel comfortable where they are in their life. And, it's the thing is, you've dwelled in this space of the negativity for so long that it has become a source of comfort. It's the thing that I can get into this space and people will leave me alone. Like if you're in a happy space, people aren't going to leave you alone. They're going to gravitate towards you. It's just a
Yeah. Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah.
when you're in that negative space, you get people going, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What can I do for you?" When you're in a happy space, you are creating for yourself, and people are just like, they're excited to jump in with you, and you're no longer controlling what's happening. It's like everyone's co-creating with you.
You're part of the party.
Yes. So it's a totally different dynamic,
Yeah.
but it's only when you've reached that pain point that you're like, I can't do this anymore. So, look around you at the people that you're hanging out with, the things they're saying, and, as you become more aware, there's going to be a disconnect. There's going to be a discomfort. And it is hard because this is the thing you've known, and it requires so very little of you. You can stay in this small, tiny little boxed up space. It requires nothing of you to stay in that space.
Yeah.
But as it becomes uncomfortable, as it becomes not enough, as your soul begins to nudge you to feel more, to expand, then, you're going to have to start lifting up, feeling a bit more positive, and allowing those people to throw shit at you, and, say the things they're going to say, and just let them be, and start surrounding yourself with people who see the positive in light, who see the benefits of things, who, like
And
you.
they're out there. They're out there.
Mhm. And the
Just
journey's
open
fun.
yourself up to it.
Yep. And the journey is fun. The journey is filled with heartache,
Yeah.
and it's filled with loss, but it's also filled with new experiences, new friends, um, just fun. Like, look around you. When's the last time you had fun?
Oh, I have fun all the time. You know that. And so do you.
I tell people every day I wake up and it's Christmas. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know something's going to happen. There's going to be something cool, and I won't know it until the end of the day which thing was the coolest.
Well, and what you look for, like, we're creator beings, is what you say all the time. And you create. So if you look for love and light, you're gonna find it. If you look for woe is me, you're gonna find that too.
Boy, will you ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if it comes at you and your perspective is, what am I learning from this? What can I get out of this? What part of this was kind of cool? What part of this was good? What funny thing happened around that pain in the butt?
Yeah.
That's what you have to tune into it, though, and look for it a little bit.
Well, and that's the whole point of these podcasts, is these incremental changes, these little bits that bring you up, that help you um, just employ a slightly different way of looking at things, and it's just, we want you to come along and be our people, because this is a fun place to be in. If you're not right now, that's okay, but it's a fun place to be, and
Well,
it
and,
just takes
and
a little
hopefully
adjustment.
you're getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. Each
Mhm.
podcast you watch, each weekly wanderlust that you participate in, each thing that you think about or do or try.
The way you're saying it, it's making me think of the Police song, "Every step you make,"
Every move you,
or something like that.
every move you make, every step you take,
Yeah.
I'll be watching you.
Ooh. Right. Yeah, that's right, because that's a song about
That's
somebody who's
the
stalking. Anyway,
kinda. Well,
but it
we'll
was
stalk you if you want us to, and I'm hoping you're stalking us. So go ahead.
all right, time for the weekly wanderlust.
Yes.
Okay. So the weekly wanderlust, what we're gonna do, um, we this is an easier one maybe or not, but this has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
And we've really kind of hopefully riled you up, gotten you to think of things. Like I'm hoping that as you've listened to this, you've looked around and gone, yeah, who are the people I hang out with? What are, so we just want to know just a little bit of feedback. Comment below, go to the Facebook, group, however. But what are your thoughts about all this? Where are you coming from? Where are you in your life right now? Are you in that positive space? Are you working towards that positive space? Are you more comfortable, surrounding yourself with people who are kind of just, I don't want to say closed off negative, but, that are looking at the negative more than the positive, put it that way.
Comfortable with not even the negative, but the maybe even the status quo, maybe
Yeah,
comfortable
status quo
with
is the
the
other way.
yeah.
Yeah. But just know that our status quo of being happy,
Is up here.
but it's spreading. It is becoming the norm. It's taking a while, but it's definitely spreading, and that's all part of human ascension, and I won't go into that any more than
Yeah,
that,
that's
but
a whole nother podcast for
yes.
sure.
So, um, so what are your thoughts on all of this? And then, I'm curious, how do you express warm and loving thoughts, to other people? Like when you're closing an email, writing a letter, or just saying goodbye to friends, or just in
Or
an
even getting off a phone call with someone or in the middle of a text exchange, and how do you kind of shut it down for the moment or whatever?
what is it you're leaving behind? What is your thing? We would love to know.
What is your love and light?
God, I so love this. Okay.
Yep.
So, sweary affirmation.
Yes. Sweary affirmations. Now,
Okay.
she didn't hold it up, but it's my little bag of sweary affirmations, and you can find them on the blog, and you can find the link to it, and you can get your own sweary affirmations and that.
I wonder if the person who created these will ever see our podcast and know how often we reference.
And that we love them so much, and they're so appropriate for
Yes.
everything we do. We
So
should reach out. We should research that and find out who came up with them.
that would be fun.
Okay.
It's breathe in the good shit, breathe out the bullshit.
Breathe in the good shit, breathe out the bullshit. And I actually have that on a note, on a note for us, that when we start with our t-shirts, that's going to be our first t-shirt.
We have to. Yep. We have to do that. Maybe that'll be our first year, like here we go. We've been around for a year.
That's a good idea. We could put them on mugs. I mean, my brain is just, where are we going to put it? What are we going to do with it? It could be a bumper sticker, whatever.
So many things. So let me mention to you guys, I just said about where you can direct these responses to. Let me just say, please subscribe, and hit the notify button so that you get notified when we, launch another podcast or post or whatever it is we do, upload something. Feel
And
free to
we
come. Huh?
Oh, I was just going to say, and we would love for you to follow my personal Facebook page, Diana Gunto Sullivan,
Mhm.
like a gun and a tow truck, and Samantha Love Kaufman.
Mhm.
Right, that's what your
Yep.
Facebook says too.
Samantha.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, we would love you to follow us because we're good, we're funny. I mean, I think we're funny.
She's owning it. Um, and so you can go over to our KISS podcast website, which is kiss.afirewithin.me. And that has the a written concept about everything we've talked about. So if you don't like the ums and hyperness or any of that, and you just want to read about it, you can read about it there. And underneath is the integration and any quotes or any supporting videos or anything like that. Plus items we've talked about that are in our store. They're all listed right there. Our sponsorship, yes, MorVida link. Um, and so all of that's there. And then you can also go over to our Facebook group. Please join. It's a women's only group. We did that because these are concepts that are unique to us, how we handle things. We want people to feel comfortable sharing and feel like there is a closed environment that's safe to do so. So come over to the KISS Podcast Facebook group and share with us there because, like, we just got finished with a 7-day a 7-day journey is what I call it. You could say course, but it's a journey. And it was about the positive energetic blueprint. So instead of doing New Year's resolutions, it's all about creating the way you want your world to be in 2024. And so I'll be bringing that around again at some point. But if you join the group, you'll get entrance to things like that.
And it was free to you and me,
Yes, we got a freemium.
a freemium.
I like that. That's such a good word. Um, Anything else?
I think that's it.
That's it. Then we're gonna
That's
say
it.
goodbye.
Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.